All right. I call the meeting of the Court Services Committee to order Wednesday, August 13th, 2025. First is call to order. Did that. 2.0 was prayer. Anybody want to say a prayer? I'll take care of that. Heavenly Father, thank you for getting us together tonight to do the county's business. Please give us the strength and fortitude to do what is best for the county. Guide us as we go through the important work that we do. And thank you, Jesus, for a lovely, lovely day. In Jesus' name, amen.
Okay.
It was a beautiful day today, too, man. Okay, 2.0 approval of the agenda. Motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Second it.
Yes, motion by Todd and the second by Ms. Williams. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. 4.0 is a review and approval of the meeting minutes from July 9th, 2025. Motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve the meeting minutes from July 9th, 2025.
Motion by Mr. McKenna, second.
I will second.
Second by Ms. Williams. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, same sign. Approval of the claims. $42,410.30. Everyone's should look at them here or look at them on the computer. Can I get a motion?
I'll make the motion to approve the claims.
Motion by Ms. Williams, second.
I will second that.
Second by Mr. McKenna. All those, any questions? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Have a comment? Seeing none. Reports to the committee. Judge? You are up.
Nice to see everybody.
Good to see you.
As usual, nothing on the report. I have people take care of everything that's going on over there. If anybody's got any questions, they can feel that.
Okay. Any questions? Thanks, Judge.
Thank you.
7.2, Public Defender.
I'm Jenna Hoffman. Obviously, I'm not Travis. I'm covering him
Okay.
today since he's out on vacation. And nothing really nothing. I don't have anything to report. Anybody has any questions or anything?
See anything unusual on the report, so thank you very much.
Yeah.
Probation.
Hello.
Hello.
So, we have our budget. Just wanted to share, I had a great opportunity to present at our senior management symposium last week in Bloomington. I was asked by the chief judge's office and the training unit to be a part of a panel. And I'm like, well, particularly what is it that I'm going to be addressing? And they're like, well, a little of everything, but we really want to focus in on equity and inclusion. So it was myself and Dr. Lyons. Everybody knows him. He's from the chief judge's office. Dr. Lewis from Cook County, Attorney Brown from AOIC, along with some others. So it was an interesting experience. I think when we got ready to get up there, we're like, we don't know how we're going to be received. So one of the other directors said, maybe we can just stop after Deanie does her presentation, who's our attorney. But it actually went very well. One of the questions I was asked was, how do we address diversity in our caseload? And I'm thinking about this question. And I said, obviously, one of the things we do is we look at barriers, right? And then we work to try to identify those barriers and how to remove them. But I said, well, I can't address diversity in caseloads without addressing diversity with my staff. So one of the things that I said we must do as management is make sure that we are being trained. Because we can't be successful with our clients if we don't understand diversity, if we're not culturally competent. So I sometimes struggle with that because I do see a lack of cultural competency at times. I'm just being honest. So just to kind of say this, why they asked me why this was important to me. And I said, you know what? I'm going to give you a story. I'm going to give you an experience that happened to me. And that's going to tell you why it's important to me professionally and personally. And once I did that, you could hear a pin drop. But overall, I got some really good feedback.
Very nice. That was a pretty exclusive group too, right? That you.
Yes, it would be for directors and all. So I'm basically presenting to my bosses.
Yeah.
So that's why it was a little
A little nervous.
a little nerve wracking, but I'm actually looking forward to, I got some positive feedback from people that came up to me. I think I got the most questions, but I'm like, if I can't do this and be authentic, then I don't want to do it.
Right.
So I am looking forward to, we meet with the chief judge's office in a couple of weeks and they'll give us our feedback.
Okay. Very nice, very nice. Anybody have any questions about the report or? Thank you, Dr. McGee. Thank you for, making Stephenson County look good.
I really do think it helped. I'm gonna be honest, because I don't think they really know us.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And just a little bitty county up. the
Yeah, I'm
state.
trying to explain, they're like, where are you? Yeah, and then they're like, as soon as you say Iowa, then they're like, oh.
Okay, state's attorney. Thank you, Mr. Larson.
We are still down now 3 attorneys and 1 administrative assistant. It is regular for multiple members of the staff to be working entire days on the weekends. This weekend, and it's not unusual for me, I've always worked substantial periods of time on the weekend, but our office administrator worked a full 8-hour day on Saturday. Just trying to keep up with things. So we're all exhausted. In spite of that, I couldn't believe the numbers when I looked at the cases when we're able to get resolved in July. Almost across the board, it's twice the number of cases we were able to resolve in June, including 69 felonies, which, I mean, you gotta think that a normal year for us is 400, 450 felonies, and you're resolving 69 felonies in one month. Really proud of the results we've been getting. I don't have anything else to add. I did include, I provided my report to the court services. With that, I included the 2025 budgets for Lee, Ogle, and Stephenson County. That is more relevant in the later budgetary section, but I didn't want any to kind of shuffle them and get them confused, so I stapled them to this.
Okay. I appreciate that.
But for that, I'd be happy to answer any questions anybody might have.
I think we talked a little bit about this not too long ago, but is there anything that the county can do to help you try and recruit attorneys or?
Well, I do have a personnel request to discuss at the appropriate time. I don't know if we're discussing personnel requests today or just kind of our budget proper, but I do have a personal request to increase the salaries of the assistant state's attorneys to become more competitive.
I would think we talked that over at the budget. I'm thinking, we talked the budget, we'll talk about that.
Very well.
That's probably a good start, raising the salary, I would think. Okay, anybody else have any questions, Fred? Okay. Ms. Cardell?
Anything. Michelle, in my report on the second page or the back page, I did add jury information down. We kind of talked about that a couple times. So last month we had one jury trial and the grand jury also met. And in 2025, we had 4 jury trials called in and grand jury has met. I'll second Carl. Last month was a busy month. We filed 62 felonies in 1 month. That's more than normal. Also, I received 12,000 for the Access to Justice grant, and I received the check today in the mail. Unfortunately, more clerks are asking for this grant. The request for this year were 1.5 million that was asked for, and the budget was 400,000. One thing we are gonna try to work on with funds from this grant is to start lawyers in the library. It used to, Prairie State Legal Service used to come from Rockford once a month and have lawyers in the library, which was 1 or 2 hours, 1 day a month, that people could come in and ask civil questions, divorce, evictions, probate. We have 2 local attorneys, Ryan Shaner and Abigail Endress, who are interested in helping start this program, so we're working with them to try to get that going, and we got some funds from this Access to Justice grant to do that. And then last week I attended my first part of the Certified Court Manager training in Chicago that's hosted by the National Center for State Courts. So we have 16 4-hour Zooms, and then we meet again in June to end the program. And then the Judicial College is supporting the circuit clerks and paid the tuition for that. That is all I have, unless you have some questions.
Questions? 2 questions. What were you trying to get for grant? How much? Originally,
And $32,343.22.
okay. And it looks like so far in income tax, we collected 19,000 this year, or am I reading?
Yes.
Oh, that's a lot, good. Okay, that's all, I see.
Okay, well, thank you for, making us look good in Chicago too, to the state. Appreciate it, appreciate it. Is that a big group? Of,
30, 35, 40.
okay,
I'm sure.
pretty exciting. Okay. All right, well, thank you. And youth diversion fees. So this month we have $706.50. Instead of 40 or something. Yeah, total 66.
So $6,667 or something? Which is good.
6,600. Yeah, right.
If you also look at the back of that attachment, the report from one of the distributions, came back, his end of program report was attached as well.
Okay. What report is that on the back of?
I'm looking, it should be on the youth diversion.
It's from the line.
Yes. Where the attachment is for the youth diversion funds, there should be, if you scroll down, it should be his report for the end of the program.
Okay.
$6,667.49, and then the funding report from Twin Image Counseling is attached.
I did not read that, so why don't we discuss that next meeting? Is that possible?
Yeah, can include it next meeting.
Okay, I appreciate it. I missed that. Okay. Moving on to 8.0 business, seeing none. 9.0 new business, 9.1 review and approval of proposed fiscal year 26 budgets. First up on the list is the circle clerk.
If you looked at the spreadsheets that were attached to the agenda, they have been modified, so I did hand out new ones, so look at those. First one is 804. Department head salary is done by resolution. Administrative assistant, I am asking for 6% instead of 4%. The difference would be $1,086.50. Social Security, $83.12, and IMRF, $34.23.
I got a question. Don't they have to put in a special personnel one sheet?
Yes, she has.
And we vote on that separate, don't we?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay, and I see did you just only put the 4% in? For the time being?
The 6% is the request in the 2026 department request, 57,585. And then on the budget notes, that's the 4%, 46,400.
That's what you put in the bottom number, right?
Well, if you go down the 2026 department request, the
Okay.
bottom number has the 6%. And
Okay,
then the budget notes has
Okay.
the 4%.
okay, I see. Thank you.
Regular salaries for deputies, that's done by the union contract. Overtime for salary deputies is the same. We have not had weekend court, thank goodness, so we haven't had to use much of that. Stationery and supplies, I did go down $1,000. Shredding the same. Photocopies, I went down 6,000. And the reason I went down on both of those was because of the IT grant, and we're paying. You don't have to pay for monthly fee for the 5 years. And I've used other grant money to pay for supplies and stationery. Miscellaneous, 500 stayed the same. E-citation went down 50,000. The big chunk of it was getting it started last year, so you shouldn't have as much expense this year. And service contracts is saying 20,000. Any questions?
Yeah, on the expense, you budgeted, last year 100,000, but you've only used 2566. You think you're gonna be using another 75,000?
I don't know, we're still in the process, and I know there's gonna be a little bit more fees coming on before we get started, and I have asked for the quotes on those, but have not received anything. I don't think we'll use that much.
So that's why you
But
brought that down to around
yeah.
50,000.
Yeah.
I do have a question.
Yes,
The 6% is a COLA? Is that correct?
yes, so it's
Is that
4% is what was approved. I'm asking for 2% on top.
on top of that?
Yes.
So, okay, so and it could be because this is my first cycle with this. The 4% comes from what figures? I
The
mean,
budget policy that was agreed upon.
the budget policy that was agreed upon last year, or like a union contract, or
No, budget policy, which the county board approved in June.
I did? Sorry,
At the meeting, you were there.
I'm sure I was. I'm sure I was. Okay,
So it's presented every year in May. And voted on by the board in June, and that's what department heads and elected officials use to craft their budgets.
thank you.
yes, it's basic.
Yeah.
Instructed them.
So what she's referring to is the personnel request. There's a separate form that breaks down those additional costs if anything outside of the budget policy is requested.
So the COLA was not in the
4% COLA is.
4% was there.
Yes.
Got it. Thank you.
I don't know, did everybody see did you send that to all county board, or these county board members, or do you usually send your reasoning behind asking for the extra?
No, in the budget policy, it says to send it to you, George, and
Yeah,
Adrian.
okay,
That's just,
I know I saw.
Those would come up then in the packets when that gets approved.
Oh, okay.
We just include it in the budget at the preliminary.
Because tonight, if we do anything, we're just gonna pass these on to finance, or we're not?
You don't have to pass them tonight. You can.
Okay,
September is when the expectation is to have them completed so they can go on to finance.
okay.
You can approve.
But we
them
can't.
tonight.
Yeah.
And if there's a,
Well, we won't approve the extra 2% till next month. Another question to follow up, and I should know this, it's just you and the assistants that are non-union, everybody else is union then?
Yes.
Okay. How many employees are union right now that you have hired? 11, okay. Are you short any, or you're at,
No, where we're gonna be for,
and that's what you budget for all 11 then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dale, can I ask a question?
Yes.
Your union contract, is that a 1 year?
Right.
3 year? And what year are you in? With this budget? It's two.
yes.
Okay, thank you.
Alright, the next line item is 807 jury. So the jurors stayed the same. Stationery and supplies, I did add an additional 500. When we send out our jury case cards, that's a big expense at the end last year. It was in the general fund, it would go, I don't know where it was, but when the mail picked it up, it would just go wherever it goes and gets paid. Now it's being billed directly to my office because we get a better rate. The jury meals is the same, printing is the same. Any questions? Next one would be document storage. For the revenue, I use the same amount. For technology grant, it's just an estimate in there, I put 300,000. And I don't know what I'll be asking for, or if will be offered again this year, but that is a no match. Income, I added 500. Because income has been more this year, and I think it'll be a little more. For my expenses, stationery is the same, technology grants, the same as the revenue. Office equipment the same, and lease and maintenance the same. Are there any questions on that?
I have one question
Yeah.
on the items that, if there's no numbers. Are we keeping those line items or do we eliminate those line items? How's that?
We could probably eliminate those, because I don't think we've used them. If knowing jury, I was gonna eliminate the offsite jury expense. Because we haven't had that since COVID.
Oh,
I forgot to say that, but yeah, we could probably delete those too. And then the last one is court automation. Revenue the same, interest I did extra $250. Down in the expenses. $1,000 less for stationery and supplies, again, because I've been using grant money. Office equipment the same, and lease and maintenance the same. And we could probably get rid of that other line. You wanna clean that up a little?
contingencies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that is all I have.
Okay. Questions? Does anybody have any preference as to whether we pass this on now or later? I don't see any reason why it shouldn't just pass along now. Does you have any thoughts on that? So,
I'm gonna make a motion to pass document storage and, court automation and jury commission. I like to hold that one over till I kind of
okay,
punch some numbers.
okay.
That's in my motion to pass those three.
I'm gonna give a second.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Thank you. Go down to the state's attorney.
Thank you. I have two items for you to consider tonight. The first, I would, expect to be fairly uncomplicated. That's, our budget in general. There are 5 changes. Those 5 involve 4 COLA increases, three of which are consistent with the 4% in the budget policy. The fourth is my salary, which was increased by the state and approved by the board on July 17th, 2025. The other increase is the increase in the fee from the appellate prosecutor. That's gone from 18,000 to 21,000. And actually, they changed that fee after the budget was passed last year, but expected to be paid the increased amount last year. So if you look at the amount expended through June 30th of 2025, you see 21,000, which is the exact amount I'm requesting for next year. The $3,000 overage in that line item is rendered somewhat nugatory by the fact that we've been down so many employees that we expect to return a fair amount of our budget this year to the county board at the end of the year. So our budget should be substantially under budget, even though we did have one line item overrun. With that increase, we're seeking to correct that moving forward. I'd be happy to answer any questions about my budget proper. If no one has questions, I can move on to my personnel request.
Any questions? Seeing none.
Okay, moving on to the personnel request. For several years, we've been short, mostly, but for a period of a couple of months, we've been short 2 attorneys. Part of the problem there is the salaries. They've been getting hired away by private practice and also occasionally by the public defender's office. That's no shade against the public defender's office. They're great people. They do good work. Then Jenna. I'm just kidding, Jenna. That's, when we have an attorney that can make more money by changing how many floors they go up, it gets harder to stay staffed. Now, I discussed this with the head public defender, and I think he would like kind of the actual details, not just to be described in general, to be laid out, so that it doesn't seem like he's just poaching from our office all the time, which is not the case. But the 3 employees of the 5 in the public defender's office that were former Stephenson County State's Attorney's Office employees are their office manager, who's Lynn Plowman. Her salary almost doubled when she went from the State's Attorney's Office to the public defender's office. Ryan Shaner, who left the State's Attorney's Office, not for the public defender's office, but for private practice, then left private practice for the Stephenson County Public Defender's Office. And finally, Benjamin David, who left directly for the public defender's office, and his explicit statement was, "It's so much more money, I've got to go there." So what we would like to do, and we're never going to compete with the private sector, and we're not asking for the type of salary that would make us competitive with the private sector. But what we would like is to have parity with the public defender's office. I've done that by using the 2025 assistant public defender line item. We have 4 positions, currently 3.5 attorneys, but 4 positions. So I went with the larger number, which makes the difference smaller and makes my ask smaller, and went with 4. So I divided their line item by 4, and then I took our line item, the state's attorney's assistant state's attorney line item, and divided by 6, which is the number of positions that we have theoretically. I then subtracted the difference, and that difference is $5,462.58 per attorney. And then times that by 6, so that we would be at least in parity with the public defender's office in terms of salaries. Now, this is not there's no reason for this to be out of whack the way it is. You may recall that we passed the head public defender's salary, in July. And by state statute at that time, it was mandated to be 90% of the state's attorney's salary. So even the state, doesn't traditionally have these salaries in parity, traditionally has prosecutor salaries slightly ahead. I'm not saying that that's what should be the case here, we're just looking for parity. Also, you have in the state's attorney's report to court services, the budgets of the 2025 budgets of Ogle County and the 2025 budget of Lee County. The reason I included these is because it's so easy for this to be misrepresented, and I wanted you to have the actual numbers. So for example, if you look at, for Lee County State's Attorney's Office budget in 2025 was $1,346,000, or $1,346,105. Now, the state's attorney's, Stevens County State's Attorney's Office budget was like 900,000, maybe even a little less than that, I'd have to look. So you go, well, what's going on here? But then when you get into the details of the Lee County budget, they have IMRF in their budget, they have health insurance in their budget, they have FICA. So that bottom line, even though it's favorable to my position, it isn't comparable because we don't have those things in our budget. So it wouldn't be fair to me, of me to say that. What is comparable is salaries to salaries. And their, line item for salaries, but see, they don't have it broken. They do have like the state's attorney's salary separate from employees, but they don't have, what's an office manager, what's the victim witness coordinator, what's the assistant state's attorneys, they don't have that broken out. They just have it as full-time, part-time, and the total full-time, part-time is that number that's written there, and I think that's what is a valid comparable. That number for Lee County was $795,200. Then you look at Ogle County's, budget, and, their budget is, $812,407 for, it just says salaries departmental. So I guess we can assume that their, elected salary is included in there. And, if what we're talking about is what the ASAs are making, it's not really fair to include that. So I backed that out, and what you have is $606,407. Then the first page there is the state's attorney, the Stevens County State's Attorney's Office 2025 budget. And to make those comparable, I've added all of our salaries, be they ASA or secretaries or fixed witness coordinators together. That number is $578,357. So somewhat lower, perhaps substantially lower, depending on whether you're looking at Lee or Ogle, but lower than either Lee or Ogle counties. So that's my rationale for my request, and that's my request. The total amount, I'm looking for is $32,775.50.
I got a couple questions on Lee and Ogle County. Did you get the number of state's attorneys they have? I mean,
I did.
assistant state's attorneys. That would probably help if we wrote that down on these here.
In Ogle County, they have 4.5
Hold on.
assistant state's attorneys.
You said in Ogle County? What's the 0.5, a part-time person?
Yes.
And I want to ask you a question after that.
In Lee County, they have 5.
They have 5.
I also have the number for assistant public defenders if you'd like, but I gotta tell you, it's a wild world because, the other counties, they start doing contract attorneys and, making it comparable is wild. In Ogle County, there are 3 full-time assistant public defenders and 2 contract. In Lee County, there are only 2 public defenders, or 2 assistant public defenders, and they're both part-time and have private practices as well.
I was gonna ask you something, you're always hurting for state's attorneys and everything, assistant state's attorneys. You said, Ogle County has a part-time one. Is there anybody out there like to work just part-time that's up in their age and maybe,
I have one individual, and I don't wanna say anything because he's employed full-time, but I've been working on him. I'm trying, if I can get him to.
I noticed,
Switch, I'd hire him in a second.
I noticed they have line items for part-time, assistant state's attorneys,
Yeah, if I could do it, I would.
Yeah, that interests me that that they can get part-time ones, and they even have it budgeted in Lee County for a part-time one too. It looks like.
I think that might be part-time employees, not part-time assistant state's attorneys.
Okay, it's, okay, well, no, it just says state's attorney salary part-time, 20,000, okay. So on top of the 4%, you're asking for another 4%? Am I reading this right?
Well, I'm asking for $32,775.50. Whatever percentage that is, that's what I'm asking for.
Okay, and I don't have my calculator here, so what, anybody could look that up,
Let's see here.
and will Adrian have all the personnel thing next month? The sheet, showing,
I'll make sure we do.
I kind of like that, we want to try to be, upside where one person gets that, this person, I mean, he's very much justified, but I'm just, what number did you come up with?
7%.
7% on top of the 4%.
On top of, well. Yeah, 7%, it's 7% of the 2026 department request numbers, 467,979.
So the 4%, then an additional 7% you're requesting on the personnel thing.
I mean, it just depends on what numbers you're using. The number I'm looking for is $32,775.50.
Okay, well,
But that is 7% of the amount of the budget that I'm requesting in my budget proper, the 2026 department request.
Which most likely includes the COLA,
It absolutely includes.
so it's 11%.
Yes,
so we're, okay. So it's about 11%, okay. Well, we don't approve that till next month, it gives us time to put the stuff over, yes. That's all I had, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Where the salaries come from? For
these are general fund.
General fund.
Salaries, yes. And we do have the violence against, women grant of $40,000, but that's a 3-year commitment on the part of the state. We don't know that will be, continued. We're paying portion of the salary with that right now, but, we don't want it to depend.
I have a question. Are the attorneys that work in your office, are they salaried or hourly?
So
Okay, so when you're putting in for overtime,
They don't qualify for overtime.
they don't qualify for the overtime. Okay. I've always had a salaried job, so
Yeah.
I know. I totally understand where you're coming from.
They just work until the job is done. And again, we're just asking to be funded at the same level as the attorneys in the public defender's office.
And that makes total sense to me.
Yeah.
Honestly, it does.
I get that it's a big jump and probably shocking a little bit, but the reason we're asking for that big jump is because for years we haven't asked for a lot.
Well, and if you cannot retain employees, you're going to lose what you've already got because they're being overworked.
They are burning out.
Yes, that's a
Without a
real
doubt.
good, that is a real good, yes.
Georgia, what's the number on IMRF penalties once you go over a certain number? I mean, nobody, pardon me?
6.
Once you hit 6, you can stay at 6 and under. Once you
Well-
go over 6.
If I can address that, none of these individuals are within 4 years of 55 years old. So they wouldn't qualify for an IMRF penalty. Okay. And they're, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it has to be in the last, in the final, in your final rate of earnings, but this would not be any of these individuals' final rate of earnings. I mean, they're all relatively young people. I don't think they're vested by and large, actually. Tom Madigan might be vested, but other than him, nobody there's vested. I am,
Seems right to me. Let's, I would suggest we should hold this one over until next month. Everybody all agree with that?
yes,
Agree with.
Yeah.
if anyone has specific questions in the meantime, feel free to contact me.
We need to vote on it to hold it over, just, no. All right. Thanks, Carl. I'm not sure what the judicial court orders law library, but I don't know what judicial.
Budget.
Oh, it's a judge, okay, so we know that. That makes sense then. Yeah. It's yours. Do you wanna talk about it a little bit?
It's basically the same as last year, except an increase for the contract we have for the law library and research services Westlaw. Which also covers the state's attorney's office and public defender's office and the judges. It's an anticipated increase, and it's at the very bottom of the sheet that I brought. But otherwise, all the other numbers that I submitted are the same as last year. And if you have any questions about it, I just
Any questions? Can I have a motion to move this one forward? Or
Yeah, motion to move this forward. It's basically all the same.
Bradley?
yes, I mean, approve. Yes, we're good. Thank you.
I will second. Second by Mr. McKenna. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
They're all that easy.
Yeah.
Well, before I'm done, I got a little time.
Thanks, Judge.
Give them their money that they're asking for. These people work incredibly hard and they do an incredible job.
Thank you. Yeah, when you look at the hours that they work, all the calls, include the overtime hours, month after month after month. Yeah. I get enough.
If you come and visit us at the courthouse, see the typical work day, everybody in that building works incredibly hard. Taxpayers are getting their dollars worth out and out.
Yep. I agree. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
We'll move on to probation.
All right,
D.
so I'm gonna try to make this as simple as I can. I have two budgets, obviously, beginning with the county budget, the 001. Long story short, I know Chairman Helms was at least was aware of this, I've mentioned it. Probation service fees can no longer be used for anything but direct client services. We have been tipping the scale and paying for things like probation service fees, and it's not a Stephenson County thing, it's a circuit thing, it's a state issue. Actually, Stephenson County, we hardly ask for too much of anything. So I think what happened is kind of the buck stops here because a lot of the departments were paying for things such as water, supplies, and all of those things, vehicles, and that's ended. So long story short, I really had to work with my operations manager, and we really worked hard to try to structure this to see how this could hurt as little as possible to the county. And we have accomplished that. So I'm gonna kind of skip over the salaries because that's all set. Everything is consistent with either the chief judge's plan, the union contract, or the budget policy. So there's nothing additional we would be asking for. We are changing the names of a few items just to make it easier for us when we're working on our annual plan. But getting into the impact. So new line items that probation service fees can no longer pay for are auto expenses. We have previously paid for all of our vehicles, as you are aware, but We can no longer pay for vehicles, nor can we pay for maintenance or gas. So that line item has been added in. Case management software, you cannot pay for anything dealing with computer software. So our PC gym system, which is utilized throughout the courthouse, has to be paid for out of the county. Electronic monitoring can no longer be paid for out of probation service fees. AOIC does not recognize that as a form of rehabilitation, so we can no longer use those fees to support electronic monitoring. The majority of individuals that are on GPS are juveniles. It's not a large number, but more juveniles than adults. We also will be paying for our radios as well, which we use for our home visits to communicate with dispatch. So we have to have those. But we are reducing our radios, so that's gonna save $700. We also reduced office equipment by 1,000. We reduced juvenile detention by 10,000 and added that to the GPS radio budget to try to help offset that. And so overall, if you look at the county budget for this year versus last year, we are asking for $7,400 less. And that comes from me, I'm doing a reorganization request on the state side, so that'll help offset the kind of hit to the county. So I'm pretty proud of this. My field representative said he didn't think I could do it, but if we did, he'd be impressed. So I hope this gets approved. And the thing is, I really do need my budgets to be approved tonight because I have to submit my annual plan at the end of the month. And I need to show that we are in full compliance with what AOIC is requiring of us. So that is the first budget. Are there questions on that one?
So this budget, all this money comes out of the general fund, right?
Mm-hmm.
The probation 803, all out of general fund.
Mm-hmm.
You're looking for the total request is 1.122, correct, if I see this right?
Yep, you're correct.
And 2025, it was 1129, so it with those add-ons, it seems like it's gone down.
Yeah, we managed to do that. I did some reorganization requests. I'm putting in my annual plan regarding staff and doing some things different to help offset this.
So this budget's gone down. That's gonna be
Correct.
money from the general fund with the adding of 3 items. What was in the yellow here, then you're gonna rename those items?
Yeah, that's just more for our benefit because when we do our annual plan, we have quite a few items that we have to account for and it gets somewhat confusing. So we just wanted to rename them.
Well, with 3 add-ons and the budget down for the general fund, I make a motion to approve probation.
Motion by Mr. Hadley. Second.
I will second.
Second by Mrs. Williams. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion passes.
Thank you. And then the second budget is even easier because this is the probation service fee budget, the 020 budget, which is only things that can be used for direct client services. So that comes strictly out of probation service fees, not out of the county budget.
It's a standalone fund with the budget, so.
I have one question on this. You got one red line here, 15th Circuit Administration Chief, 700. What was that then?
That is, everyone has to pay a $700 fee to the chief judge's office to help with supplies. So that was moved over into our supply budget.
Oh, over in the one we just passed.
Yeah. I think I put that under. I actually put it under photocopies,
Okay, yep, I see that, yep. Okay, that's all I
put it all
got.
together.
Are we taking
Office expenses, sorry.
Are we taking these line items out?
Yes,
Yeah,
the
I see
ones
it. Yeah.
in yellow. Oh, no, the ones in red you can remove. The ones in yellow have to be renamed and the ones in green will need to be added in.
Motion to approve.
By Mr. Hadley. Can I get a second? Second by Mr. McKenna. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And next is youth version. Is that on the tablet? Okay, so we'll worry about that one next month. Okay.
Public defender.
Yeah, I was like, we skipped up.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
She's there for a reason.
Skip right over the new lady. I'm sorry.
Poor John.
See, I already put a check mark. That's what happened. I should have never put a check mark.
The only change in our budget is there was an increase in the dues line item. That's because, one of our attorneys, Ryan Shaner, his dues will be increasing due to having a number of years. There's a price increase in the ARDC dues, depending on how long you've been an attorney.
I'd like to do this one next month. I'd like to look this over.
Okay.
too, You know, so.
All right. We'll roll this one over.
When's he back from vacation?
He'll be back at the end of it. He'll be back on Monday.
Okay.
Thank you. And again, I apologize. It's good. And Judge, I apologize. I don't even know what that line, what that was. I don't know what I expected you to say, but before order seems like it's pretty self-explanatory, but anyway. It's okay. I'm new at this. Let's remember that.
Hey, that's nice.
Okay, so youth diversion we're gonna do next month.
Yeah.
So it's like we're done. Motion to adjourn. Motion. Mr. McKenna, can I get a second?
I'll make a second.
By Ms. Williams, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign, motion approved. Thank you very much. Everybody signed the bills? Yes. Liz, over here, did all that.